Hey, what's up guys and welcome to Animaking 2, and unfortunately, because of some technical problems, I will be only able to give you one what ifs on each channel. So, tonight I'm going to be giving you part 3 of what if Naruto had the unknown Sharingan. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this all with your friends on your social media platform, and stay in tune because over on Anime King, I'm going to be giving you a new episode of What If Kaguya Was Naruto's Mother. So stay in tune for that, and I hope you guys enjoy each and every episode. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you're hearing my voice, and you enjoy the videos on Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. And remember, comment down below and tell me if you're new guys. I'll be replying and talking back to all of you. So without further ado, let's begin this new episode. Start the intro.
I think the girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I think the girls with their
So, to do a bit of a recap from the last where we left off, Sarutobi was angry at Kakashi for leaving out Naruto, but he didn't tell Kakashi about Naruto's Sharingan because Naruto wanted to keep it a secret. Sarutobi then told Kakashi something that shocked him to his core. Obito's sister was Naruto's mother, as Kakashi couldn't believe it. So he just betrayed the one closest to his dead friend. As Kakashi then asked to leave, as Sarutobi told him that he would be taking over Naruto training, as Kakashi left and went to Obito's gravestone, as he felt disappointed in himself. The month went by pretty quickly, and the Chunin exams began, as Sakura, Sasuke, and Kakashi were waiting for Naruto. When Naruto finally arrived, he barely even looked at them. He just walked past them, and he was dressed different. He was no longer wearing that orange jumpsuit. He was wearing black. As Kakashi didn't have what it takes to face Naruto, even in the past month, he couldn't come to it because he felt so disappointed in himself. So he just went away as Naruto and the others went inside. They then went through the first part of the test as they went to the Forest of Death. In there, Naruto went out to search for the scrolls as he came upon a giant snake, and then he sensed a tremendous chakra rise as he quickly used the Amaterasu and incinerate the snake. As he then went over, and it was Orochimaru. As Orochimaru couldn't believe it, this boy, as Naruto then activate his Sharingan, his Sara Sharingan, surprising Orochimaru, as Orochimaru couldn't believe it, as Naruto was beating down Orochimaru, but Orochimaru was still holding back, and so was Naruto. Orochimaru also gave Sasuke the curse mark, as he melted away in the ground. As Sakura asked Naruto what was that, as she saw the strange Sharingan, but he told her to do not tell anyone, as he looked at her with pure anger, as she told him she understood, as Naruto picked up Sasuke and went off. So yeah guys, that was basically the last part we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So let's begin this new episode, shall we? Naruto sat as his back was leaning against a tree, as Sakura was looking down at the unconscious Sasuke, and then she looked at Naruto, as she then looked back at Sasuke and then back at Naruto. They were on the second day of the exam. After the bizarre event with Orochimaru the missing nin, a word was barely spoken between the team. So Sakura was now sitting there as she couldn't understand how does Naruto has Sharingan, and what was that Sharingan? It was white and his eyes were blue, totally different from what Sasuke possessed. As Naruto then spoke, "I'm going to look for the Earth Scroll," he said. Sakura was caught off guard that he spoken with a complete sentence. Wait, she said, tripping over her own words. "We can't wait any longer for Sasuke to wake up. The more time we waste, the more difficult it will be to find one," Naruto said as he started to walk off to the edge of the clearing. As Sakura watched him as he vanished out of sight. 25 minutes passed as Sasuke was still unconscious and Sakura was there in her thoughts. She was then snapped out of her thoughts as she sensed something nearby. as she thought it was Naruto, who come back with her scroll. As she then heard something above her, as she quickly pulled out a kunai. "What do you want?" she said, as she stood in front of Sasuke. As the three members of the sound team were on the tree branch looking down at Sakura, as the three of them chuckled. "It does not concern you," said Dosu. "Yeah, we're here after the Uchiha, and if you try to get in our way, we won't hesitate to kill you," said Zaku with a grin. But Sakura did not back down. She was prepared to defend Sasuke. As the three of them laughed as they saw, she tightened her grip on her kunai as the three of them jumped down. A distance away, "I give up, I give up." "You can have our scroll," said a stone ninja, as he quickly pulled out her scroll and threw it. As Naruto caught the scroll, as the ninja was on the ground and he was badly beaten. "Quick, let's go," one of the teammates said as he helped up his friend, as the three of them ran off. "These leaf ninjas are crazy," he said. "Finally," said Naruto, "this is the third group I found. And finally, I got her art scroll." As Naruto snapped his head to the side, as he sensed chakra signatures coming from where he left Sakura and Sasuke, as he then felt a foul chakra, it felt very dark and sinister. As he quickly dashed back towards his teammates. "Damn it, are they going to get into trouble every time I leave them?" he said, as he increased his speed. Back in the clearing, the faces of Sakura, Lee, Ino, Shikamaru, and Choji, they were of terror. Soon after the attack, Lee and Team 8 tried to save Sakura, but they were all beaten by the sound group. It was then that Sasuke woke up with this dark, purplish chakra around him, and he had dark flame-like marks all over his body. And he totally destroyed all of the sound ninjas. None of them even stand a chance against him. And Sasuke just broken Zaku's arms, as he was still holding on to them, as he was going to tear them off of his body. Meanwhile, the sound shinobi was screaming and pleading to be spared. "Sasuke, stop!" Sakura screamed, but unfortunately none of her words got through to him, as they then saw a blur past them, as Sasuke was then pinned on the ground. "That's more than enough, Sasuke," said Naruto, as he looked down at Sasuke. Ino blinked in surprise. The others were surprised as well. "Get off me, you loser!" Sasuke growled, as he tried to kick Naruto off of him. Naruto jumped away before the foot could make contact with him. Instantly, Sasuke was back on his feet as he pulled a kunai and rushed towards Naruto at full force. Naruto pulled out a kunai as well as he blocked Sasuke's attack. "What the hell are you doing?" Naruto asked, his voice getting colder with every word. As a smile came on Sasuke's face, "I simply want to know the extent of my new power." As the both of them jumped backwards and threw their kunai at one another, the two kunai hit in mid-air and fell to the ground. "I don't want to fight you, Sasuke," Naruto said as he glared at his teammate. "Like you have a chance," Sasuke said as he rushed forward again. As Naruto started to block Sasuke's punches, as he was getting angry by the seconds go by. As Neji was watching from a distance away, as he could see that Naruto was holding back a lot, and Sasuke seemed to be getting stronger and stronger. Back with Naruto and Sasuke, Naruto was blocking Sasuke's punches until he got angry as he grabbed Sasuke's fist. As Sasuke was surprised as Naruto twisted his hand, as he brought on his next hand to punch Naruto, but Naruto hit it away with his left hand as he released Sasuke's fist and drive a fist right into his stomach. As Sasuke smashed into one of the nearby trees, but he quickly picked himself up. "You think that will be enough to defeat me?" he said as he speed through hand sign, fire style, fireball jutsu, as he released a massive fireball towards Naruto. Seeing this, Naruto saw images of the Tsukuyomi world when Itachi had Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi torture him. Even if Sasuke wasn't in his right mind, Naruto never knew that he would use lethal force on him. As Naruto didn't move as the fireball slammed right into him, as everyone gasped. They had just seen Naruto get hit by the lethal force of Sasuke's fireball, as there was a loud dust and smoke, as no one could see what is going on. As Sasuke then started to chuckle, it then turned into a mad laughter. I'm strong! I'm stronger now! Sasuke thought. A distance away, Neji was surprised, but for very different reasons, as he had his Byakugan activated. As Neji saw, right before the fireball hit, blue chakra exploded from Naruto and blocked the fireball, and he was perfectly fine. As the dust cleared, as everyone gasped again, as Naruto was completely unharmed. Immediately, Sasuke stopped laughing, as Naruto's hair was shadowing his eyes. As Sasuke rushed forward, as he swung his fist towards Naruto's face, but Naruto caught it. As Sasuke tried to pull back, but no matter how hard he pulled, he couldn't make Naruto release his grip. As Naruto tightened his next fist and slammed it into Sasuke's stomach, knocking the wind out of him, as the fist knocked him off the ground as he was sent flying upwards and slammed into a next tree. In an instant, Naruto vanished, as Sasuke was trying to get up, but he was then grabbed by the throat and slammed into the tree with great force. As everyone watched, as Naruto had his grip around Sasuke's neck, as the purple chakra was flaring around Sasuke as he tried to push Naruto off, but it failed. Sasuke was struggling to get free, but no matter what he do, Naruto's grip was around his neck as he feel this power leaving him, and he feel Naruto power rising. As he looked at Naruto's eyes, as he saw fury in them, as Naruto was angry, as Sasuke realized that he's still weak. As Naruto watched as Sasuke was losing consciousness, as the tattoos were retreating back to his neck. But Naruto was still angry as he was holding on to Sasuke's neck pretty tight. Sasuke watched in horror as Sasuke lost consciousness, but Naruto did not let go. "Naruto, stop!" she screamed out, as inside of his mind he wanted to stop, but he couldn't. There was some strange force that had taken over his body and wouldn't let him stop until he killed this person, as it was like he was taking out all of the pain and suffering that he went through in his life on Sasuke right now. Suddenly, he felt something pull on his jacket and something pressed against his back, as he felt something dropping on him like water, and it started to run down his back. It was then that he realized it was Sakura, as her hands were clenching the lower part of his jacket as her forehead was on the top part as she was crying. Please let go. I can't bear to watch the two of you kill each other. So please let go," she said while still crying. As the rage started to disappear off Naruto and the grip on Sasuke's neck started to loosen, as Naruto released Sasuke as Sasuke's body fall onto the ground. As Sakura immediately let go of Naruto and went to check on Sasuke. As Naruto took a few steps back and turned around. "I got the Earth Scroll," he said. And without saying anything else or acknowledge anyone else, he simply walked away from the clearing. Time skip, Sasuke rubbed his neck as he was waiting for the first match of the preliminaries. He had woken up on the last day with barely enough memory to know what happened. He remembered getting bit by that snake freak. He remembered Sakura pleading him to stop while he was fighting the Sound Ninjas. And the last thing he remembered was Naruto pinning him down on the floor. He asked what happened, but neither of them wanted to talk about it. One thing that Sasuke noticed that Sakura kept on glancing between both him and Naruto, and Naruto seemed more distant than before. Sasuke snapped out of his thoughts when he saw the first match. It was Kiba Inuzaka versus Uzumaki Naruto. Sasuke saw Sakura, Lee, and the members of Team 10 tensed up when they saw the first match, but he didn't know why. As Sasuke watched as Naruto leave the group without a single word to their sensei, Sakura, or even him, as he then looked over at Kiba, who was saying that the match would be pretty short, as he think that he was going to win, as Sasuke watched both of them in the center of the arena, as Kiba had a big smirk on his face like he already won, and Naruto looked very bored, like the match didn't even excited him anyway. As the proctor told them to begin, "Why don't we skip the trash talk and go straight to the beating?" Kiba said, as he got into a fighting stance. "I am feeling kind today, so I'm going to make this quickly as possible." As Naruto didn't even say a word, as Kiba rushed towards Naruto. "Getsuga," he said as he spun in a tornado. Naruto watched the attack as it got closer and closer. At the last second, Naruto simply sidestepped the attack. Kiba turned as he tried once again, but Naruto sidestepped him again. As Naruto looked really bored as he was sidestepping all of Kiba's strikes. As Kiba stopped after a while as he was pissed. Bastard, Kiba said as he got 2 pills and threw one in his mouth. Akamaru, he said as he threw the second pill towards Akamaru. Suddenly, Akamaru fur turned red as he jumped on Kiba's back. Beast clone imitation, Kiba said as Akamaru turned into a copy of Kiba. As Kiba cried out, "Getsuga!" as both of them spin violently towards Naruto. As Naruto kept on dodging all of the attacks, moving on the last seconds. Kiba growled in frustration. What the hell is going on? Naruto wouldn't be able to dodge all of my attacks so easily. As Naruto then walked forward as Akamaru spun towards him as Naruto dodged, but he didn't let Akamaru pass him as he grabbed Akamaru's forearm and pulled him out as he slammed his fist into Akamaru's stomach as Akamaru was sent soaring through the air as he slammed into a nearby wall and reverted back to his dog form as he collapsed. Bastard, Kiba growled as he rushed towards Naruto. As Naruto ran through hand sign as his 2 fingers glow a light as everyone had to turn their eyes as the light was so bright. When the light finally died down, Kiba was standing there frozen in mid-attack. As he then started to scream. In his mind, he was watching all of his friends, his mother, his sister getting slaughtered. He then looked down to see that he was the one with blood covered all over his hand, slaughtering everyone. As he screamed out, as it was too much for him, as he collapsed. As the proctor quickly came over, as the medics came to check on Kiba's condition. As Naruto was declared the winner. As Naruto didn't even say anything, he just walked back to the direction of his team. Sasuke's hands were trembling. Whatever Naruto did to Kiba, it possessed a dark chakra, but he felt that before. As they looked up back to the board, as the next name was Sasuke versus one of Kabuto's teammates. As this match was the same as the canon, as Sasuke knocked him out with a lion barrage and he was able to suppress the curse mark chakra from taking over his body. As Sasuke won the match and Kakashi took him away, as Naruto just watched the rest of the match. As Naruto watched as Shikamaru defeated the Sound Kunoichi, as Kankuro defeated Kabuto's other teammate, and Sakura faced off against Ino, and the both of them tied. Tenten was defeated by Temari, and Shino defeated Zaku. As Naruto watched as Choji and Dosu eliminated each other, and Gaara faced off against Lee, and Gaara won in the end. And the final match was Hinata versus Neji. Both of them went down to the arena as Hinata was shaking, as Neji was glaring at her. "You should give up now, Hinata. You are not cut out to be a true shinobi," said Neji. As Hinata started to back away. "People shouldn't judge others," said a voice as everyone turned, as it came from Naruto, as Neji glared at him, but Naruto glared back at Neji. As Neji looked back at his cousin, the fear was replaced with pure determination. "I will never give up, Naruto," she said, as she activated her Byakugan. As Naruto watched as the both of them seemed equal in the first, but Neji then turned around the match as he started to deliver blow after blow on Hinata as she collapsed on the ground. Naruto wasn't disappointed because Hinata had proven that she wasn't worthless, but he was surprised when she stood up again because Neji went brutal on her. As Neji lost all of his self-control as he went brutal with rage, as he wanted to kill her, as he then dashed towards her, but before he got anywhere close, he was backhanded away and pinned to the wall by Naruto. As Naruto held him by his neck. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" said Naruto. "Can't you see that she's in no condition to continue the match?" "This is none of your concern," said Neji, as he tried to break free. "Naruto," Hinata whispered, as she then coughed up blood and fell unconscious. As that distracted Naruto as he turned around. "Hinata," he said, as Neji got free, as he set his palm to strike Naruto right in the chest, as he then drive his palm forward, but he was surprised when Naruto twisted his body, as Naruto then punched Neji right in the chest, knocking the wind out of him as he gasped for air. As Naruto lowered his head, as he whispered to Neji, "In the finals, I'm gonna make you pay for what you did to her," he said, as he walked over to Hinata, who was already on the stretcher by the medical team. After that was over, Sarutobi explained who will be fighting in the finals. Number 1 will be Shikamaru versus Temari. 2 will be Kankuro versus Shino. 3 will be Naruto versus Neji. 4 will be Gaara versus Sasuke. Immediately a strong, killing intent was sensed. As everyone turned, it was coming from Naruto and Neji, as the both of them glared at each other. "You have 1 month until the next exam begin. I suggest you take some time and get rest and regain your strength and start your training," said Sarutobi as he dismissed them all. As Naruto turned as he started to make his way out of the arena, he knew it was a matter of time before Sakura caught up to him. Suddenly, a pain went through his body as he clutched his heart. It hurt every time his heart beat. "Not again. This has been going on for a month now. What the hell is it?" he asked, as he heard the fox laughing inside his mind. "Don't worry, kid. You will find out soon enough," the Kyuubi said. "Stupid fox," Naruto said, as the pain went away as he walked off. Sometime later, "Sakura, do you know where Naruto went?" Kakashi asked his pink-haired student as he saw her at the exit. "He already left," she said. "He said that he wanted to get some rest before beginning his training," said Sakura. "Oh," Kakashi replied. He was planning to train Sasuke, but he didn't want to make the same mistake that he made a month ago. But it seemed that Naruto already made a plan about his training without his help. Sakura stood there as she was thinking about Naruto's Sharingan eyes. As she looked at Kakashi, she had promised not to tell, but it was very hard not to say anything. But in the end, she kept her mouth shut. The next day, Naruto woke up after a long rest. "I should go and see the old geezer to see if he has any idea on my training," Naruto thought. 30 minutes later, Naruto locked up his apartment as he went off. Naruto was walking for at least 20 minutes when he finally stopped. "Why have you been following me for the last 20 minutes?" he asked, as there were some movements in the bushes behind him, and after a while a man with white hair stepped out. "So you've been aware since the beginning? Have you, boy? Well, my name is Jiraiya." As Naruto turned and looked back at the white-haired man, "And I should care because..." As Jiraiya chuckled, "Sarutobi Sensei told me how detached you could be." Naruto was taken back. "Sensei? Wait, Jiraiya, where have I heard that name before?" "Oh yeah, you're one of the Sanins," Naruto said. "Yes, kid, you're right. And Sarutobi asked me to help you with your training for this month. He's too busy with all the preparation for the finals of the Chunin exams." Naruto looked at him for a couple of seconds, as he then turned back around. "I don't need your help," he said as he started to walk away. As Jiraiya smirked as Naruto walked away, "You're as disrespectful as your father doing his training," Jiraiya said. As Naruto stopped, "I want to teach you one of your father's favorite jutsu," he said. "And also about this summoning technique. I heard that Sensei gave you your weapon." As Naruto turned around, as Jiraiya spoke, "Learning how to summon that weapon is hard. And trust me, it's hard to control," he said. "But first, tell me about your Sharingan." Naruto's eyes widened slightly. Did the old geezer tell him? He thought. As Jiraiya figured that he was thinking that, "The old geezer didn't tell me about your Sharingan. Don't worry. I knew that this was going to happen. Since the day you were born, I want to see the results of combining the Uchiha and the Namikaze." Naruto then sighed as he was slightly relaxed now, knowing that the Hokage didn't betray his trust. As Naruto looked Jiraiya straight in the eyes, as Jiraiya watched as his blue eyes turned a shade darker, and then 3 tomos appear in both of them, white tomos. "Amazing," Jiraiya said, as Naruto's eyes reverted back to normal. "So, what were you saying about my training?" Naruto asked. "Well," said Jiraiya as he turned his gaze toward the hot springs, "I'm a little busy today. We will start tomorrow. Meet me in this exact same spot." "See you tomorrow," he said as he walked off to the bathhouses. "Are all the adults in charge of my training perverts?" Naruto asked. "Do you really want to answer to that question?" the fox said. Shut up, said Naruto. Time skip. 3 days later, Naruto and Jiraiya was standing in a field. So, can I try the jutsu now, or do you want me to write an essay first? Naruto said as he was clearly annoyed on not yet summoning a toad. Show some respect, brat, and yes, give the technique a try. As Naruto bit his thumb and went through hand sign, summoning jutsu, he said, as there was a huge puff of smoke. As Jiraiya's eyes went wide when the smoke started to clear. So, it went well? As Gamabunta stood in front of them. Jiraiya, why have you summoned me? Gamabunta asked in an angry tone as he looked at Jiraiya. I didn't summon you, Jiraiya tried to explain. This is Naruto. As he pushed Naruto forward with his elbow. He's the one you have to flatten. Oh, no, I mean he's the one who summoned you. As Jiraiya looked away as he whistled. As Gamabunta looked down at Naruto. You expect me to believe that this brat was able to summon me, the Toad boss? Naruto looked up at Gamabunta with narrow eyes, as Gamabunta looked back at him. For some reason his eyes seemed familiar. Wait, Jiraiya, is he his son? Yeah, he is. Nice to meet you. My name is Uzumaki Naruto, Naruto said. Time skip. 2 weeks later. The Toad summon went along pretty easily, as Jiraiya was jealous that Gamabunta seemed to like Naruto more than he liked him. But for the past few weeks, Jiraiya and Naruto had used their available time to work on the weapon. Just as Jiraiya had predicted, it took some time for Naruto to successfully summon the weapon, and it was even harder to control. Fortunately, after 2 whole weeks, he was starting to get the hang of it. As Jiraiya walked up to Naruto, as Naruto was in a crater. Very good, kid. It took your father a longer time to create this much destruction. As Jiraiya looked around at all the destruction, trees were torn in two, the ground was level, and boulders were destroyed. Didn't I tell you that it wasn't going to take me long to control it? Don't get too cocky, brat. You still have a long way to go, Jiraiya said as he crossed his arms. Anyways, I think that's enough for today. We will pick up training tomorrow. As Naruto nodded as Jiraiya walked away. 2 minutes later, Naruto was going home, as his body then shook with pain again. But it wasn't his heart this time, it was his entire body, as he used a tree for support. It's getting worse and more frequent, Naruto thought, as Naruto waited a few seconds as the pain vanished, as he could hear the fox laughing inside his mind. One of these days, fox, I will figure out how to use the Tsukuyomi on you, and then when that time comes, I will be the one laughing, Naruto thought. With Neji, both Hayashi and Hanabi was watching him from a distance, as Neji was sitting with his leg crossed as a leaf fall off one of the trees, as Neji said rotation without even moving, as chakra burst from his body in a spinning mode and destroyed the leaf. How is that even possible, said Hanabi, as Hayashi narrowed his eyes at Neji. At Sarutobi's office, as Jiraiya was leaning against the window, as Sarutobi threw a scroll to him as he caught it. Please give that to Naruto. When you think the time is right, Sarutobi said. Jiraiya looked at the scroll with confusion until he finally figured out what it was. You can give it to him yourself, it's not like you're going anywhere, right? Said Jiraiya. Please, said Sarutobi, for Minato and my sake, just in case. Very well, I will guard the scroll for now, said Jiraiya. Thank you, Jiraiya. Time skip. Where are they? Said Shikamaru as he looked around, as he saw Shino, Neji, the Sand siblings, and Genma the Proctor, but no members of Team 7. Genma looked up to where the other judges were sitting, as Sarutobi nodded. If they don't appear soon, then we will have to start without them, and if they don't make it in time, they will be disqualified, Genma thought. Well, said Genma, the participants that are not in the first match, please leave as he stopped, as a swirling wind appeared in the arena, as Sasuke and Kakashi came out of it. As everyone clapped in the audience, troublesome, Shikamaru thought. Sorry that we were late, said Kakashi. Sasuke here got lost on the way to the stadium. As he pointed at his student. Lie, Sasuke said in a snort. Anyways, like I was saying, the participants that are not in the first match, please go and wait in the finalist box. As he waited for the Genins and Kakashi to move. As everyone leave except for Temari and Shikamaru and Genma. What a drag, said Shikamaru, as he realized that Naruto wasn't here yet, and he didn't want him to get disqualified, so he will drag out the match until Naruto arrived. Meanwhile, Jiraiya was currently in a tree as he yawned. The brat match is coming up soon. Maybe I should make my way over to the stadium, he thought, as he yawned again and brought out a safe bottle. Or maybe I should finish this bottle first, he thought. Back at the arena in the finalist booth, Shikamaru gave up as he looked around. Damn it, he's still not here yet? As he looked down towards Shino and Kankuro, as Shino went down to the ring, but he saw the sand boy shaking as he was looking at Gaara nervously. What's the problem? Asked Genma. I give up, said Kankuro, as everyone was surprised by that. I don't know how long the fight would last, but Gaara's patience is running out, and if we don't hurry, he will kill someone soon, Kankuro thought. Very well, said Genma. The winner of this match is Shino, a Berame. He has no more time, Shikamaru thought, as Neji went down towards the arena. Genma watched as Neji appear in the arena. If Uzumaki doesn't appear in the next 5 minutes, he will be disqualified and Neji will win by default. As Shikamaru saw a frown on Neji's face, I guess he didn't want to win this way, Shikamaru thought. As the 5 minutes went by pretty quickly and Naruto still didn't show up. Well then, I guess he's disqualified, said Shikamaru. What are you talking about? I'm right here, said a voice behind him. As everyone quickly turned around, as Naruto was leaning on the wall, like he didn't know he was going to be disqualified soon. And where the hell have you been? Shikamaru asked. Around, said Naruto, as he wasn't moving to go into the arena for his match. How long have you been there? Shikamaru asked. Long enough, said Naruto, as he walked forward. I came in halfway in your match, and you know you could have won that, right? But you gave up, said Naruto. Well, let's see how this turns out, as he flicked off the railing and landed in the arena. Sasuke frowned at his teammates' behavior. He hadn't acknowledged anyone else besides Shikamaru. In fact, after the force of death, they didn't really talk. As Naruto walked in the center of the arena, and both him and Neji locked eyes, as Genma could feel the killing intent rising. I was starting to think that you weren't going to show up, Neji said. You should know better than that, said Naruto. As Genma then spoke, the third match of the finals is about to start. Uzumaki Naruto versus Hyuga Neji. But guys, we'll be in this episode right here. If you want to see the next part of this, I already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notifications they posted. Remember to share to all of your friends in social media platform. And also, stay in tune for What If Kaguya was Naruto's mother, and I hope you guys enjoy. But for now, I'm out of here. Peace.